Hello. Today General Hospital will reveal the custody battle between Michael and Willow has escalated into one of the most gripping and emotionally fraught chapters in the history of General Hospital, transforming what might have been a routine legal dispute into a profound moral and psychological confrontation. This battle is not merely about who gets to raise a child. It is a clash between light and shadow, honesty and manipulation, protection and harm. At the heart of this conflict lies Drew, whose malevolent machinations have gone far beyond simple scheming. With cold calculation and ruthless intent, Drew has infiltrated the innocent mind of young Wiley, implanting toxic and destructive thoughts that have warped the boy's perception of himself and those around him. The effects on Wiley have been devastating. The once bright and cheerful child has become withdrawn, confused, and burdened by an emotional weight far too heavy for his age. Drew's manipulation is chilling in its depth and cruelty. He has weaponized Wiley's vulnerability, twisting his emotions to serve his own selfish ambitions. Rather than nurturing and protecting, Drew has chosen control and dominance, exploiting every moment to deepen Wiley's psychological distress and isolate him from the support and love he so desperately needs. This sinister influence has left Wiley in a state of constant sadness and turmoil, unsure of whom to trust or how to find stability amidst the storm Drew has unleashed. Meanwhile, Scout, the youngest child caught in this web of familial strife, has also suffered the consequences of Drew's neglect and manipulation, further highlighting the destructive reach of his behavior. Michael, in stark contrast, has stood steadfast as a pillar of strength and compassion, a father who deeply loves his children. Michael has watched with mounting anguish as his son's spirit was slowly eroded by Drew's interference. The frustration and helplessness of seeing Wiley drift away, clouded by confusion and sadness, ignited a fierce resolve within Michael. His anger toward Drew is fueled not just by the harm inflicted but also by the repeated failure of peaceful attempts to reconcile and heal the fractured family. Michael's commitment to seeking justice is anchored in a profound sense of duty, not only to reclaim his rightful role in his children's lives but also to safeguard their future from further harm. His fight is not motivated by revenge but by the urgent need to protect Wiley and Scout from the shadow cast by Drew's manipulation. When the day of the trial arrived, Michael entered the courtroom armed with meticulous preparation and unyielding determination. Every piece of evidence was carefully gathered and presented with clarity and emotional weight. He spoke with the voice of a father who had witnessed firsthand the damage wrought by Drew's actions. Michael's testimony detailed the lies, the manipulations, and the emotional abuse that Drew had subjected Wiley to, laying bare the extent of his stepfather's betrayal. The courtroom was presented with a wealth of incontrovertible proof. Recorded conversations that revealed Drew's schemes, text messages that documented his lies, and statements from credible witnesses who had observed the stark changes in Wiley's behavior and emotional state. The judge and all present were visibly moved as Michael unveiled the full extent of Drew's cruelty. The transformation in Wiley, from a happy, trusting child into one clouded by fear and sadness, was undeniable. The courtroom atmosphere grew heavy with empathy for the children caught in this battle, and a collective sense of outrage toward Drew's exploitation took hold. Michael's impassioned appeal was not only a demand for legal justice but also a plea for the protection and healing of two vulnerable children whose lives had been upended. Further deepening the gravity of the trial were revelations of Drew's interference beyond the family sphere. It emerged that he had resorted to bribery and subterfuge, corrupting medical staff at a clinic in Germany to fabricate reports that discredited Michael's involvement with his children. This insidious sabotage was intended to prevent Michael from offering the care and presence that Wiley and Scout desperately needed, highlighting Drew's willingness to manipulate every possible avenue to maintain control. Nina, a close ally and supporter of Willow, expressed profound anger and disappointment upon uncovering these deceptions, underscoring the broad network of deceit Drew had woven and the pervasive damage it inflicted on everyone involved. Supporting Michael throughout the trial was Diane, a seasoned and formidable legal advocate, with keen insight and strategic acumen. Diane expertly dismantled the narratives constructed by Drew and Willow. She exposed inconsistencies, challenged false claims, and illuminated the true motivations behind Drew's actions. Diane's unwavering dedication and sharp legal mind were instrumental in reinforcing Michael's position, ensuring that the truth was not only heard but fully acknowledged by the court. This custody battle transcended the typical courtroom drama. It became a profound examination of family, loyalty, and the enduring power of a parent's love in the face of deceit and adversity. Michael's victory in the trial symbolized not just a legal triumph but a moral one, the affirmation that truth, compassion, and commitment to a child's welfare must prevail over manipulation and betrayal. As the judge granted Michael full custody, entrusting Wiley and Scout to his care, it marked the beginning of a hopeful new chapter. A chapter where these children could begin to heal in a nurturing environment, away from the shadows that had haunted their early years. The entire saga stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of trust and the destructive potential of unchecked cruelty, but also of the resilience of love and justice. For Michael, Wiley, Scout, and those who stood by them, this hard-fought battle was more than a contest over custody, it was a fight for redemption, restoration, and the promise of a brighter future unmarred by the darkness of the past. Michael painstakingly laid bare Drew's glaring failures as a father, painting a damning portrait of a man who had consistently shirked his parental responsibilities. Far from providing the love, guidance, and protection that his children desperately needed, Drew was revealed to have treated them as mere instruments in his relentless pursuit of power and control. His frequent absences and emotional neglect created a chaotic and unsafe environment for the children, where their well-being was secondary to his selfish ambitions. This callous exploitation was not just a betrayal of the children's trust but a profound violation of the sacred bond between parent and child. Drew's actions demonstrated a willingness to sacrifice the emotional health and stability of his offspring, wielding them like chess pieces to manipulate situations in his favor. Adding to the gravity of Drew's betrayals was his deceit towards Willow, a woman who had once placed her faith and love in him. Michael's testimony revealed the depth of this personal treachery, capturing the raw anguish Willow endured upon discovering Drew's duplicity. The shock of betrayal plunged her into emotional chaos. She was overwhelmed by feelings of bitterness, self-doubt, and heartbreak as the realization sank in that she had been deceived by someone she trusted implicitly. This breach not only fractured Willow's personal sense of security but also complicated her alliance with Michael, as the emotional wounds cut deeply. Yet, paradoxically, it was this very pain that galvanized Willow to confront the truth head-on, pushing her to stand with Michael in the pursuit of justice, even at the cost of her own heartache. The court's ultimate decision reflected a firm commitment to justice and the children's best interests. Drew was stripped of custody of Scout, a young child who had already endured significant psychological trauma amid a fractured family landscape marred by instability and neglect. This ruling acknowledged the profound harm Drew's neglect and manipulation had caused and recognized the urgent need to remove Scout from that toxic environment. Moreover, the decision to place Scout and Drew's brother Danny under Jason's care offered a vital lifeline, a chance for healing and renewal within a stable, nurturing home. Jason's household symbolized hope, safety, and unconditional love, providing these vulnerable children with the environment necessary to rebuild trust, find security, and begin the arduous journey toward emotional recovery. The happiness and calm Jason fostered in his new family were a testament to the power of steadfast care and a stark contrast to the turmoil from which the children had been rescued. Throughout the proceedings, harrowing details of Drew's deceitful and underhanded tactics were meticulously exposed. Beyond the emotional manipulation of his own children, it emerged that Drew had actively engaged in corrupt practices, bribing medical staff at a German clinic to block Michael's access to Willow and the children. This blatant obstruction was designed to sabotage any chance of family reunification and prevent reconciliation efforts, revealing the lengths Drew was willing to go to maintain control and disrupt Michael's role as a father. The revelation of such unethical conduct provoked a fierce and visceral response from Nina, Willow's unwavering ally and confidant. Nina's outrage was intense and unrelenting as she condemned Drew's immoral actions, fueling the internal conflict and amplifying the pressure on Willow amid the already volatile custody battle. More than mere support, Nina became a driving force dedicated to unmasking Drew's true character, determined to expose his harmful nature not only to the court but to the broader public, ensuring accountability and justice were served. Nina's unyielding stance underscored the profound stakes at play. This was not merely a dispute over custody but a larger crusade to bring truth and integrity to light amid a tangled web of lies and betrayal. Her fierce advocacy helped to sustain Willow's resolve, highlighting the importance of solidarity and the relentless pursuit of justice when confronted with deception. The custody battle thus evolved into a poignant saga of resilience, exposing the devastating impact of parental neglect and manipulation while celebrating the enduring power of love, truth, and redemption to heal fractured families and restore hope to the most vulnerable. Diane, serving as Michael's lawyer, was not only a skilled legal advocate but also a strategic mastermind in the courtroom, playing an instrumental role in the battle for the custody of Michael's children. From the moment the trial began, she exhibited an extraordinary ability to dissect the case with precision, using every flaw in Drew's testimony and behavior to her advantage. Diane's legal expertise was unmatched, and her meticulous attention to detail allowed her to identify the inconsistencies and contradictions in Drew's statements, which became critical in undermining his credibility. She was relentless in her cross-examinations, each question carefully crafted to expose the cracks in Drew's carefully constructed defense. Diane's sharp questioning cut through the facade that Drew had tried to build, forcing him into positions where his lies and manipulations were no longer sustainable. She consistently challenged the validity of Drew's actions, laying out his deceptive behavior and moral failings with a clarity that left no room for doubt. But Diane's influence went far beyond just her legal brilliance. Her presence in the courtroom exerted significant psychological pressure on Drew. As the trial wore on, it became increasingly evident that Drew, who had initially presented himself as confident and in control, was gradually being backed into a corner. Diane's well-prepared arguments, combined with her tactical expertise, caused Drew to stumble in his responses, revealing the cracks in his defense and his inability to justify his actions. His once unshakable confidence began to wane as he found himself unable to adequately respond to Diane's relentless onslaught. She didn't just use her legal expertise to dismantle his case. She broke him down emotionally as well, exposing him as a man whose moral compass had long been corrupted, leaving him isolated and defenseless. Throughout the trial, Diane worked tirelessly to ensure that Michael's position remained strong, leveraging every opportunity to showcase Drew's faults and to demonstrate Michael's unwavering commitment to his children. Diane understood that this trial was not just about presenting evidence, it was about framing the narrative. While Drew attempted to manipulate the situation and paint himself as a concerned father, Diane made sure the truth was undeniable. She was able to highlight how Drew's actions had been motivated by self-interest and control rather than genuine concern for the well-being of his children. She expertly reinforced Michael's role as the loving, responsible father who had always put his children's needs first, counteracting Drew's portrayal of himself as the better parent. As the trial unfolded, it became increasingly clear that this was no ordinary custody dispute. It had evolved into a larger battle between truth and deception, love and selfishness, integrity and manipulation. Michael's fight was not simply about winning legal custody of his children but about protecting their future and well-being. His determination to provide a safe and nurturing home for Wiley and Scout was unwavering. What stood in stark contrast to Michael's genuine love for his children was Drew's calculated, selfish desire to use them as tools in his power games. Diane's legal tactics brought these distinctions to the forefront, showing the court and everyone involved that Michael was not just a father in name, but a father in spirit, a man who had given everything to ensure his children were cared for, loved, and supported. Diane's relentless efforts in the courtroom, combined with Michael's unwavering dedication, were pivotal in securing the court's decision. The final ruling was not just a legal victory for Michael. but also a moral victory. Drew was stripped of custody of Scout, a child who had already been subjected to far too much emotional turmoil. The ruling highlighted the importance of protecting children from the toxic influences of manipulative parents, affirming that a child's emotional and mental well-being must always come first. By awarding custody to Michael, the court made a clear statement that love, responsibility, and integrity should always triumph over deceit and selfishness. Moreover, the decision to place Scout and Danny under Jason's care was a symbol of hope. Jason's home, built on stability, trust, and unconditional love, offered Scout and Danny a fresh start, a chance to heal from the trauma caused by Drew's neglect and manipulation. Jason, as their guardian, became a steady presence in their lives, providing the care and support that they had been deprived of for so long. This shift in custody not only gave these children a chance at a better future, but it also reinforced the power of family, how even in the face of adversity, family could be the bedrock on which children could rebuild their lives. As the trial came to an end, the full extent of Drew's dishonesty and manipulation was laid bare for all to see. His attempts to control and isolate Michael from his children were not just unethical but criminal. Drew had gone to extreme lengths to obstruct Michael's relationship with Willow and the children, including bribing medical staff in Germany to prevent Michael from having access to his family. This revelation sparked an outpouring of outrage, not just from the court but also from Nina, who had stood by Willow throughout the trial. Nina's fury was palpable as she realized the depths of Drew's betrayal. It wasn't just about protecting Willow and the children anymore, it was about exposing Drew's true nature to the world and ensuring that he faced the consequences of his actions. Nina's unwavering support for Willow, coupled with her determination to see Drew held accountable, added a powerful layer of emotion to the trial, showing just how much was at stake not just for the family, but for the entire community that had been affected by Drew's machinations. The conclusion of the trial was a turning point for everyone involved. It marked not just a legal victory for Michael, but a profound moral victory as well. Michael's unwavering love for his children, his determination to provide them with a safe, stable home, and his ability to trust in the justice system ultimately won out over Drew's selfishness, deceit, and manipulation. This victory wasn't just a courtroom triumph, it was a victory for family, for love, and for the truth. It reaffirmed that despite the darkness of betrayal and the weight of manipulation, the light of truth, love, and responsibility could still shine through. Michael's fight for his children was not only a legal battle, it was a fight for their future, their well-being, and their happiness. The outcome of the trial set the stage for a new chapter for Wiley, Scout, and Danny, a chapter where they could heal and grow, surrounded by love, care, and security. For Michael, it was a hard-earned victory that symbolized the power of love and perseverance, and for Drew, it was a humbling reminder of the consequences of his actions. The story of this battle serves as a testament to the strength of a parent's love, the importance of family, and the undying fight for what is right, no matter the cost.